Okay, next up, we'll be talking about compliance quite a bit of the day, but Bill Warren is going to tell us where NFTs identity and compliance meet. Bill.
Hello, thank you. All right, so like you said, my name's Bill Warren. I'm the head of product at Opolis, where we're building communities of freelancers and providing them with payroll, benefits services, other kind of shared services. And so we think a lot about all of the data that we have to collect to do payroll and benefits for real humans, most of which work in the Web3 space, whether they're NFT artists, whether they're DAO contributors, et cetera. You know, we help them do all the things they need to do to kind of connect to the Web 2 world, buy houses, have paychecks, get rent and everything. And so as NFTs and especially soulbound tokens and verified credentials have become more of a thing, as the organization that serves as kind of that like compliance bridge to Web 2, we're thinking about more ways to take that data and create interesting opportunities for verified credentials and soulbound tokens. But the issue that we're thinking about now is, okay, who cares about soulbound tokens? Who cares about verified credentials? Maybe no one. I mean, outside of this room and this conference, like, who cares? If I mint you a soulbound token that says, like, you're a great person, does anybody look at that token and go, okay, yeah, now I agree. They must be a great person because somebody randomly minted them a token and they've shown it to me. So how do we get people to care? How do we make it work? Well, you need two things at least. You need trusted sources and you need trusted data.
Speak into the microphone, please.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, you need trusted sources and you need trusted data to get to trusted authenticity. For example, if I issued verified credentials or soulbound tokens saying you own your house, that's not really a great trusted source. Though maybe I live next door and I've lived next door for years and saw the for sale sign, then saw you moved in, all of a sudden I'm not a terrible source of data or a terrible source for that verified credential, but the data I'm providing, the observational data of like, oh, I saw you move in, the for sale sign went down, all of that, really doesn't matter. You need trusted data. You need to go to the register of deeds in your county and look up who the actual owner is, because you could just be a very clever squatter. You could be on the run from the law. Who knows? It's only when you combine those two things do you get to trusted authenticity. You get a verified credential or a soulbound token that has meaning and weight behind it. But what else do you need? Well, I think these are more kind of ethos items around how we do this and how we do it right. So we want, especially from where we're standing at Opolis, we want it to be on the individual, our member, to mint any verified credentials or soulbound tokens. We don't want to put a bunch of on-chain data about somebody on-chain without their permission, right? We don't want to say, hey, we know you're an Opolis member that makes over 200K. We minted this NFT for you, and now the world can see that you make over $200,000 and somebody will try and hack you for sure. We also need to balance that with the issuer maintaining power, especially in the kind of verified credential world, right? If we're Opolis and say we mint an NFT that says, you know what, you meet the minimum income requirements to be an accredited investor. Well, that can change. It probably has changed for a lot of accredited investors in the bear market. People aren't so accredited anymore. So we need to retain the right to burn that NFT or mint it based on the trusted data that we can provide. You also need portability, and this is more of a UX issue. Like I went to an NFT wine tasting event last night. I got to mint some NFTs that verified that I tasted these amazing wines. I minted them to this kind of like burner wallet on my phone that I really don't care about, and now I'm going to have to email somebody on Friday or next week and say, hey, can you kind of like help and make the tokens transfer to the real wallet that I use for this app so that I don't have kind of things that are essentially soulbound tokens spread out over 18 different wallets when I really want them to be connected to the wallet that has my ENS. That's kind of my public-facing wallet for Ethereum. And then finally, and this is the most important piece, and this is the piece that our industry sometimes gets the most wrong, is it needs to meet current compliance needs. If you're going to want to take your soulbound token to your bank or your verified credential to your bank and use that to get a loan, then it needs to encapsulate and include the metadata in the metadata, the information that your bank usually requires for issuing a loan. You know, the same's true for KYC. If you want to do a soulbound KYC token or, you know, verified credentials for KYC, it needs to have all of the data that you have to provide to be KYC'd anywhere. Otherwise, nobody's going to care. You just can't invent a new standard of KYC that's like, Bill is not a terrorist, so he's good. So this is the example to make it real. Our favorite friend, Patty. So she's a well-regarded NFT artist. She generates over $200,000 a year because she's doing well in the NFT space. She's a member of the Opolis Commons, which we love. And she's been great at referring other members to the Opolis Commons. So what would her tokens look like if we're thinking about a world in which we're doing all this stuff with soulbound tokens and verified credentials? What does Patty have? Well, first, she has a soulbound token as the creator for NFT communities, right? That's something that never changes. Then she has a verified credential from us that says, you know, she qualifies as an accredited investor. She's been an Opolis member for 2 years. We know she's run over $200,000 in payroll, so she qualifies on that, kind of that front. We can also issue a verified credential proof of employment because she pays herself through Opolis, and we issue her a W-2. So she could take that to her bank and say, hey, look, I'm employed, I make money, I'm a normal person, I'm not just some like ephemeral internet magic money person. Please give me a loan to buy a house. And then we might also issue her a soulbound token for being a referral queen, right? We love referrals at Opolis. We're community-based, that's how we grow. So we want to reward our users and also create visibility within our community to say, Patty's really good at referring people, Patty's really good at onboarding folks. So that's where Opolis fits in, and I think we're not all that different from a lot of organizations that are looking at the soulbound token space or the verified credential space. We're a trusted source of verifiable financial data for a lot of people. We have to be because we withhold funds for taxes and benefits and all of that sort of real world meat space stuff that the crypto world doesn't always think about, but we do the hard work to make your life easier. We can verify membership and verify data to mint, to allow you to mint, and then we can burn it later. Like that, going back to that point of your status, your credentials change over time, so we need to be able to change with you. And then we're designed for interoperability, right? We don't want to build everything. We'd rather allow you to go take your Opolis member data to KYC DAO and mint something there because they specialize in KYC, we specialize in payroll. I think the kind of ecosystem challenge still that we have to work together and overcome is connecting the normie world and the cryptoverse, right? Soulbound tokens, verified credentials, all of this stuff is great in theory, but until the banks, the lenders, the people that ask for proof of employment take your verified credential or soulbound token, like they'll look at your wallet in MetaMask and say, okay, that's good. Soulbound tokens don't matter at all. So let's work together, LFG, let's make soulbound tokens and verified credentials a real thing and get people to accept them.